By the way, you know, like when you are 8 years couple, she knows what I'm thinking about.
Of course.
Guys, I'm an investment guy. So
We've been through a roller coaster the past years, my friend. Hello everyone and welcome to a new Q&A together. I have my special guest with me, Riccardo Pozzoli. Round of applause. We are gonna take some questions about the fundamentals of a relationship.
Okay. No, because you have to know, guys, Gabrielle is always deeply briefing me before the videos. Like 30 seconds ago, let's do a Q&A together. Okay. I didn't even know the topic. Okay.
I never told you. Let's do 4 questions about the foundation of a strong relationship. Okay, what's the most important element of a successful relationship?
Intimacy. Not just physically, psychologically.
Okay. I would have said, I love this answer, it's true. First thing that would have come to my mind would have been trust. Like for me, trust is the most, because
it's an issue for you.
Exactly, I don't trust anyone, so if I trust you, it's a lot. Yeah.
I completely understand, and it's a very good answer too. But for me, for example, trust, it's not even an issue. You know what I mean? Like, it's not coming to my mind because I'm not even thinking that I cannot trust you. Or, I mean, not
anyone,
you, but in general.
People in general.
But to me, developing, you know, that kind of intimacy with somebody that I feel like I am with myself, it's not easy. First time I saw you, I met you, like, I said, fucking hell, I've been knowing this girl since a different life, you know? So, yeah.
So lucky. How do you build trust in a relationship?
Consistency in sharing life and, I mean, situation in which clearly it's a very difficult answer. Because trust for many people can also have, you know, different point of view. Yeah.
Like what? To me, trust is you do what you say and you have one word. Like for me, trust in a relationship, like coming from a place that I don't trust anyone, I learned how to test the trust I can have into people. And one of the first things that I would check is when you say something, do you do it? And if you don't always do it, then I'm like, okay, you're not so trustworthy. And I'd say like lots of different tests, like, okay, I am in a situation of, I don't know, maybe I feel more vulnerable. Are you gonna be there for me? Are you gonna show up? Are you gonna chicken out? Like, all of these little things build the trust, you know? Like if I'm opening to you of something that is very personal, that is very intimate, like are you gonna listen and open your arms to me? Are you gonna be judgmental? Like all of these little things are like the steps that I take to see if I can trust someone or not. Obviously you do all the tests like 200%, like hands down. And I know I can trust. Sometimes I feel like if I had to give my life to someone for I don't know how long time, I would give it to you like without any question because I know you would make the best of it.
Thank you.
That's how I feel trust is built, but for sure for you it's different.
Indeed, I was thinking about trust mostly in a more, let's say, basic meaning. Like you tell me one thing, you are doing that thing. You know what I mean? Like, or you're completely also transparent with me. But as I was saying, before, it's a bit more complicated situation to prove. You know, like because basically it's not proving wrong that you build up trust.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So your kind of trust you need it's by proving right that every time I earned your trust in that situation, blah blah blah. Mine is a bit different because as long as for a long time you don't prove me wrong, it's okay. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, it's a bit different point of view, probably because we have different trust issue.
You're probably more positive than me.
No,
me, I'm more hard. Like,
no, I
test out more.
I think the opposite.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I think it's harder to gain your trust, but it's more positive because once you earn, you have it. Mine is worst because
it's given,
basically,
but if you fuck it up, you're gone.
You're fuck it up. You did that, you know?
So experience.
Complicated though.
Experience. What are your tips for maintaining open and honest communication? keep open and honest conversation.
Indeed, I mean,
we listen and we don't judge.
Listen, don't judge, always try to, like, this is something that is not just obviously for sentimental relationship, but for any kind of human relationship in the world. Like, don't take it always personal. Like, try to evaluate all the other point of view. Like, maybe you are reading something in a way because you are made that way, but maybe that particular behavior or whatever could be read in many other situations because of many other, you know, backgrounds or whatever. So if you start not judging, you can be open to accept many different point of views, and at that point, obviously, you know, evaluating better in case and be more patient.
I think that one of the tips to I'm reading the question to make sure that I answer properly. To maintain an open and honest communication, I think that first, you need to keep on talking all the time. Like, it's so important. I feel like when you get into a relationship, we've been together for over 8 years now. And the more you are in the relationship, especially when you are kids and everything, like, the time that you have to be just the two of you is way less, okay? Because when we are together, lots of the time we are mom and dad.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have as much time that we used to have to speak about everything and anything. But
we always try to build also those moments, right?
That's what I was about to say, is that when you get into the relationship, what is super important is to preserve the moments in which you can exchange and you can have conversation. So first of all, you need to maintain conversation, speaking about how you feel, what do you want in life, like do like checkups on, you know, how are we, what can we do, what is your dream, like are you happy with the situation that we're living now, always checking on each other. And then when you do have conversation with an open mind and an open heart, and not in a judgmental way, because otherwise you're not letting space for truth, honesty, love. I'd say that.
True, very true.
How do you balance individual needs with the needs of the relationship? Wow. We have similar needs.
Yeah, indeed. I would say, like, in our case, it's not even so hard, this kind of topic, because we kind of also build up such a totalizing, I don't know if this word makes sense, but relationship, that a lot of my personal needs are sometimes needs of the relationship that are making also us as a couple being better, you know. Like today I needed to have lunch with my wife, you know, like what I mean.
It's answering to your needs.
It's answering to my personal needs.
I feel like, for example, Ricardo is like me. I'm very basic as my needs. I need to spend time with my husband, spend time with my kids, work, eat well, and sleep well. And if I have that, I'm good. But I know, like, Ricardo, for example, has a lot of different passions that are not linked to his job. So obviously me, I have a lot of like passion for like fashion and stuff like this, but I do that as a job, so everything is in one thing.
Me, I love sports, so
well, Ricardo, for example, he loves sport, or he loves motors and riding on a moto, like all of this stuff. And I feel like, honestly, if we have to be really honest, like since we met and since we've been together, you have been sacrificing a lot of this. I
don't want to sound very romantic or cheesy, but if you don't have a relationship that it's worth renouncing to some of your personal time, I would say that I don't know if it is a relationship that, worth it in general. Obviously, when I was a single guy, 30 years old, with a lot of passion, I was playing drum one day, riding my motorbike the other day, like boxing the one after, and then, going to a rock concert the day. Obviously, like I had a lot of free time and I was trying to exploit it best. Also, I'm a very active person, so I cannot stay on the sofa watching TV by myself, like never happened probably in my life. So
I love to rot in bed.
So I was doing a lot of things because that's my way also to relax, to recover, to gain, but it's normal. When you are in a relationship, like you need to balance things. Obviously, I have needs that are only for myself. I think that also, it's very hard to find one answer that, it's okay for everybody, but everybody needs to find the balance. And I think that one of the most important thing, both sides in the relationship, is understanding that if the other person is trying to find the balance, can go up and down. Like to find the right balance, maybe sometimes somebody can ask too much time for something, and then less. And then, as you are saying, like, we also went through different phases in our relationship. Like, sometimes I sacrifice all my time because, kids, pregnancy, or maybe you were working more, and you did the same, like, it's normal.
Yeah, it's also changing with time. I feel like there's not like a precise rule, like the balance of the couple and how you are like an individual and in a relationship, it's also changed through phase of life. So sometimes you do more for the other and you will be sacrificing more for the other, and then it's changing. Like, the only thing that is fundamental to that and to be able to sacrifice yourself for the other is also knowing that you are in a relationship that you're safe now. Like, this is a loving, long-run relationship. I feel like when you know that, obviously everything gets easier and you do sacrifice more easily because you know you're gonna spend your life with that person. So you know it's just a phase.
It's a sort of investment.
Exactly. If you have the good base, then, and speak to each other, Like, now we are getting into this phase in which we are trying to have more time for each other, for ourselves, do things together that we enjoy and that are feeding our individual needs. Like, we love to do the same thing together, but something that he loves to do and I don't love to do, he do by himself. Like, he loves to ski.
Because me, I would do everything with Gab, but she doesn't want to do a lot of stuff that I want.
He loves to ski, he goes ski. I love to rot in bed, I rot in bed. It's a balance.
Yeah, and this is a very important thing. And then we're gonna move to the next question, but Gab is completely supporting myself in doing those kind of things. Sometimes it's me that I don't want to do because I don't want to be without her.
No, me, I'm pushing him to do it.
But she's pushing.
Because I love him, because I want him to be happy. I want him to do things for himself.
No, but for example, like a few days ago, like I was speaking with a very good friend of mine that had exactly the opposite issue. Obviously, it's a very new relationship, and one of the two person is really, you're trying to make shades to me. It's this thing. They had issue because one of the two parts wanted to spend way more time together, and the other side...
It's not about spending time together. You're formulating badly. Sorry to interrupt.
By the way, like when you are 8 years couple, she knows what I'm thinking about.
Of course. It's like in the relationship, one of the person didn't respected the needs of individuality of the other.
No, but also because it like, this person wants to do this without me.
Person doesn't love me. But
exactly.
It's not...
Taking personal, no?
This is the reaction and the answer of personal insecurity that has this person. Exactly. Because if you're secure in a relationship and you love the person and you know that you're loved, you don't think that way. You're like, oh my God, I'm so happy he's gonna experience something. I'm so happy. It's good. But if you're insecure, you're like, oh my God, he doesn't want to be with me, or no, but it's not true. But also, I feel like when you start a relationship, you have to make your proof of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we are in this situation because we've been 8 years together. We know each other. We love each other. So now I'm like pushing you to do your stuff. Probably at the beginning of the relationship, I would have done it too, but with less entrain. I would have tested out how much you wanted to be with me anyway, because that's the first thing.
8 years all the time, so now
exactly. You want some jollies.
You see, investment guys. I'm an investment guy.
What has been the most challenging moment in your relationship, and how did you overcome it?
But
which one?
For sure.
Tell yours, I tell mine.
I've been insecure, let's say, but in completely different ways. In the beginning of our relationship, it was hard. We were living different lives in different countries with an ocean in the middle. Everything was so different that sometimes I was really scared that we wouldn't have make it.
Yeah.
But we tried to, be positive toward that, like be comprehensive, and every time we overcome it. The second biggest milestone definitely has been kids. Like having kids, exactly about what we were saying. Mostly the first year is the toughest. Because clearly the mom is going through a lot. Hormonally, physically, psychologically, emotionally.
All of it.
Fucking hell, you created life, so it's okay. And we did twice in 3 years, so...
We've been through a roller coaster the past years, my friend.
I mean, 2 kids, like, we moved 3 times. So basically, your personal time, exactly what we were saying before, like the time for yourself is going to 0.
Your time for yourself as an individual and your time as a couple.
Sometimes also as a couple. So basically... you don't have time.
Like a milestone would be surviving kids. Like surviving long distance relationship and surviving the first year of the kid.
That basically we survived like making it a short distance relationship and surviving to the first couple of years of kids. And my personal suggestion as a old guy not old, I want to say senior in making kids, wait for the right time in the relationship, because
you need to be sure about the person you are gonna have kids with.
But also have experienced already a bit of
life
already
together.
Build up that trustworthy that even if I don't have a real interaction with that person for 3 months, that's okay.
Exactly.
Because
strongest bonds are needed.
Very, very needed.
To have kids.
Obviously, I've never been insecure about our relationship, obviously, because we already overcome that moment a long time ago, but you really get to the raw nerve.
It's really triggering.
You cannot find comfort in the other person because maybe the other person is even more tired than you, and even if the other person is the mom, obviously. You need to have strong bond.
I would have said the same. I think like both of the kids, biggest milestone, it's the best thing that ever happened, and it's the most precious gift, but it has been also the most difficult things as a couple, also as a woman. Like personally for me, it has been very hard because of postpartum depression, the hormones, the everything. So the first year is a year that is very critical, and indeed I am so grateful that I have Ricardo as my husband, because he's been like the best partner for me, so supportive and so loving and never judging me, always trying to give me the best of everything and like calming me down a lot, giving me confidence, giving me time and space to heal. So these are challenge and milestones. When did you realize you wanted to be in a long-term relationship with each other? Day
two. I wanted to say day two, just
because day one was not the best, but the day one for me was the day two. The second that we really met, like not a first date. If you want to understand why, you can check our last Q&A. But the second date, like it was instant.
For
like
life,
okay,
like,
this is it. This is it.
Do you think that everybody should look for that, like for a relationship like ours, like that literally you find the person you say, that person is
No, I don't think so. I think that we have been very lucky on that, but I feel like what you need to look for is a relationship that makes you feel your best. Like I know that what I feel that is the most precious about us is not that we saw each other and we knew. I feel like what's the most precious about us is that the second that we started to love each other, we bring out the best out of each other. Like you made me bloom, I made you bloom, like we supported each other, we secured each other, made ourselves feel loved and cared and admired, and that's what you need to look for in a relationship. This is it. Like this is it. So yeah. And then maybe you can take more time to understand it, So you have some relationship that are like people that are friends forever, and one day they are like, oh my God, I never looked at you this way, and they have the most amazing relationship. It doesn't have to be like instantly. Also because you have so many stories of like people that met each other and like had like un coup de foudre, and 3 months later it's over because it was just like un colpo di fulmine, but nothing else. I think the most important is having those fundamentals. Like this is gonna keep you in the long run. Us, we've just been fucking lucky. Okay.
Fucking lucky.
Is there a specific moment that made you feel the most connected? There's so many moments that make us feel so good. Like
so many, but
every single day.
Every single day. Literally happen weekly.
Yeah.
Weekly. Then you don't even know what I'm saying. Yeah.
That we
for example, these happen weekly. I'm not
I
kidding.
know what you're gonna say. That we wrote to each other in the same time, the same thing.
Yeah, weekly.
You see.
Connected.
We don't need to speak.
No, really, it's
We're
crazy.
literally gonna live our day in the same second. We are gonna receive and send "I love you." I think of you.
I cannot say it happened daily, but it happened weekly. Every week, twice. It's happening.
At least.
Like I'm taking the phone to text her, how are you, how your day is going, and I see, I love you, how are you? Like literally got 1 second before. I don't even know how I mean, I was supposed to be a scientific guy, like, but there are a lot of things that I cannot explain.
I feel like we created like a bond that is so strong that sometimes we feel each other even if we are afar, like we know. Like I remember one day I was in New York and Ricardo had an incident with his eye and he lost sight while he was doing gym for a while, and I was
Guys,
in New York.
I got the elastic to warm up. Bam, straight in the eye. I lost 99% of my sight for 24 hours.
When this happened, I just arrived in New York, and he told me nothing was special. I was with Andy and Andy, I know something is wrong with Ricardo, like please can you check on him, like tell me, and Andy was like, no, everything is fine, blah blah blah, because obviously he didn't want to let me know, he didn't want to stress me out that I was away. But I knew, and when I landed in Milan and I came back and I told you the story, I was like, Amore, I knew something was wrong. Like we feel each other.
We feel it.
How do you celebrate milestones, big or small, in your relationship?
I would say we don't celebrate enough.
I agree.
We should celebrate even more. A good thing that we keep going is obviously the anniversary, and as we are celebrating twice a year, because we are celebrating the American and the Italian wedding, and already is at least 2 celebrations a year. That's good. Doesn't really matter to be nothing important. It doesn't need to be like, sometimes we did beautiful things like beautiful terrace in Ravello watching the sunset, and sometimes can be 4 days vacation together, but sometimes can be just one very simple dinner, the two of us, without phone, without kids, without nothing, just taking time for each other and speak and share. Good music, good wine. That's it. The most simple thing, but with the willing to share that moment together.
I agree with you. I don't think we are big at like celebrating milestones apart from the wedding anniversary, but I feel because we kind of celebrate every single day. Like now that we moved into the house, I swear there is not a single day that we look at each other while the kids are asleep and we're like, how lucky we are, how grateful we are, how blessed we are. Like, and this is already a celebration, you know?
We're very conscious, let's say, of our luck and our love and our everyday, let's say, satisfaction.
And we say it to each other.
Yeah. We share.
And
it's
a way of celebrating it. Yeah. Like, we're very vocal about it. Like, every day we are gonna look at each other at some point and be like, how lucky we are, Amore. Like, how totally. Incredible is this? So there's every day a celebration of just us and the family that we build. And like now obviously we just moved into the house, which is a big milestone for us because we took 2 years. It's our family home, so it's a big thing. So this is how we do it. Okay, we are gonna do one last question. What advice would you give for overcoming conflict or disagreement? I know I can start. I'm gonna make it quick. Ricardo taught me that it's never me against him or him against me. It's us against the problem. And if you start like that, you're not gonna have an agreement or a conflict. You are gonna have a discussion to solve a problem together. And this is, to me, the most important thing you ever told me. And this changed completely the way I saw relationship, conflicts, and all of this stuff. Like, I really understood, like, okay, we are a team, so it's not like I'm not gonna fight you, we're gonna fight together. If you have this in your mind when you start a conversation, you're good.
I played very well though. But no, I mean, obviously what you are saying is fundamental. Like
Amore, we have 2%.
Yeah.
Do you agree or do you don't agree?
I agree. You really need to see the couple as a team. And again, to see us as a team, like getting back to what we said before, like being very open and trying to, before judging and getting peace to somebody, try to understand, like let them explain to you why maybe they are seeing something different from you or they're acting something, different from you. Because sometimes, it's just a matter of different point of view.
Misunderstanding.
So, misunderstanding and different situation, different point of view. Like always try to be open. And I mean, being open is fundamental to be a team. So, yeah, that's it.
Thank you for watching. We will do a part 3, 4, 5, anytime you want.
For sure.
If you have some questions you want to send us, send them in the comment and we will answer them.
Ciao, guys.